Hi, I wanted to come on here today and I wanted to do an energy update for the past new moon in Scorpio and the emergence of the spirit of the wolf within the masculine collective. I also just would like to acknowledge that there may be some of you, maybe many of you, who would like me to do some more content on the mechanics of the twin flame connection like I did mostly last year. And I do have a lot more to unpack on that subject. But due to the huge transformation this year, the year of the snake, it's a 9-year, and the magnitude of this year's energetics. And in the midst of all of this, we have a large group of twin flames that are definitely preparing for physical union, which I am a part of. And I'm definitely being led to, number one, navigate this process myself, and also to map it out for others, so that we can prepare for what is ahead of us, so that we can really just flow with the currents instead of getting lost or discouraged. I'm really more of a go with the flow kind of person, and I really just do whatever I'm led to do from moment to moment. But if you ever need any help navigating your own personal circumstances, I'm always available for one-on-one sessions. Okay, so let's get started. Since we had the rare second new moon in Virgo and the solar eclipse on September 21st, which is also on the autumn equinox, which is a powerful halfway point through the zodiac cycle, which was, as I mentioned, a rebirth for the masculines into the development and the activation of the spirit of the wolf for the masculine collective. And as I mentioned, it would also mark the beginning and the acceleration of the balancing of the masculine and the feminine polarities, preparing us for physical union. Okay, because after Virgo comes Libra, the balancing scales of justice. And since then, the new moons have been overlapping their energies into these zodiac cycles, which is playing a part of the balancing and the harmonizing of these opposites. For example, during Libra season, there was a new moon cycle from Virgo, which is earth and air together. Those two are overlapping their energies. Normally, we would actually have the new moon would be at the beginning degrees and would enter into the same cycle as the sun. So the new moon, say, if it was as we were going to be entering into Libra season, we would have a Libra new moon just before the season starts. But what we have is we have it at the ending. So we have Virgo entering its cycle into Libra season, so overlapping its energy, because the energy cycles of the moon go from new moon to new moon. And then after that, we had a Libra new moon in Scorpio season, which is air and water overlapping their energies. And then the most recent one, we had the Scorpio new moon in Sagittarius season. And this is water and fire. Okay, now this one is really, really, really powerful. And the reason for that, and I've mentioned this before, but the energies of water and fire both represent power. It's masculine power of fire and feminine power of water. So we have power, whereas with air and water during Libra season, we had movement, because earth and air represents movement. It's either moving with the energy of earth or moving with the energy of air. And then we have the power element, okay? So this one is power. Now, it's going to be a very transformational cycle because of this. But it's going to be extremely powerful for the masculines because it's the final fire sign of the zodiac, giving them their final dosage of the masculine energy. And it's also being magnified by the power of Scorpio. Also, during Sagittarius season here, we also have the Ophiuchus portal, which is the fifth element of ether. And ether is the union of opposites of both water and fire, actually. So it's a mixture of these energies, not the actual physical elements, but the energies. I'm talking about higher frequency stuff here. Okay, so it's a mixture of the energy of fire and water, making rainbow fire water. So as light or fire passes through water, it creates a rainbow. That rainbow energy is ether. Okay, it's the union of opposites, and when they do unite, these two polarities of these two power polarities, water and fire, that is a creative force, and it creates that rainbow energy, and it's the mixture of actually all of the energies. A rainbow has all of the colors contained within it. That is ether. And so during Sagittarius season, we have the Ophiuchus portal, which is from December 3rd to December 8th. And then on the 4th of December, we also have a full moon in Gemini, which is a dual sign, which represents the twins, which represents our freedom of choice to choose light or dark, to choose the right path or the left path. And Sagittarius is also a dual sign. And Sagittarius represents the conflicts between the higher nature and the lower nature. And Sagittarius and Gemini are both on the silver gate and the golden gate of the summer and the winter solstice, representing entering the matrix and leaving matrix. It's a white hole and a black hole. That's what that axis represents there. And Sagittarius is on the golden gate and represents our way out of the matrix through higher knowledge, expansion, and wisdom. And it's actually Scorpio who begins this process of liberation, because that is what it is. It's liberation out of the matrix. Scorpio begins this liberation through the first step, which is the descent into the underworld and a labyrinth of the psyche of the mind. Now, this is where we move through the last four signs and the last four elements of the zodiac. So we move through Sagittarius fire, Capricorn earth, Aquarius air, and Pisces water. Now, these zodiac signs are ruled by the titans of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto out the back, which is Scorpio's planet. Now, these are the collective consciousness, and they are the higher octaves of the denser personal planets of Mercury, Mars, and Venus. And this is where we start to develop our spiritual and mental maturity through transcendence and alchemizing both the light and the shadow within our psyche. This is where we will be merging back all of the exiled parts of ourselves, all the parts that we either hide or repress, all the exiled masculine and the exiled feminine. Okay, now I just want to quickly back up to the recent new moon in Scorpio. As I mentioned, this new moon cycle is overlapping into Sagittarius season. And so the energy from this new moon in Scorpio is continuing to play out until the next new moon in December 19th in Sagittarius, which is just before the Golden Gate solstice portal that will be on December 21st, and we enter Capricorn season. But this last new moon portal is another push forward into the wolf spirit, which is really a spirit of loyalty, courage, and protection for the masculines to deepen into, okay? Because Scorpio is a powerful initiator of this energy of fearless confidence to go for what it wants, which is physical union. The masculines want physical union, but they are oftentimes held back by fear. So Scorpio has this really powerful initiation, right? This energy of fearless confidence to go for what it wants. Like I said, which is physical union, as well as a fierce loyalty and a protection to their divine feminine, as well as well as their spiritual mission. This spirit of the wolf has activated the divine masculine's union contract and soul mission. It's activating all their chakras. They are being forced into soul confrontation from their higher selves. The higher self is pushing them out of fear and into their destiny. And many of the masculines have been in avoidance, they've been in distraction to avoid this confrontation from their higher self that wants embodiment within them. But this requires the healing of the collective masculine wounds. Masculines have a very tough job of alchemizing the most dense energies of shame and guilt. And if you believe it or not, many of the masculines have a deep fear of being fully seen by their divine feminines because of this shame and guilt. They have a fear of being rejected by their divine feminines if they are truly seen. They also have a fear of not being good enough for their divine feminine and a fear that they won't be able to match the divine feminine's energy. Okay, but this spirit of the wolf activates and it pushes them through their fear, through a powerful pull to take action towards their divine feminine in their presence alone. Okay, it's just that's all the feminines are really asking for, is for the masculines to come as they are and just to be present. The feminines have plenty of empathy and patience to work with them, and really all they are asking is for your presence so that we can at least begin to rise together. You know, the feminines have complete compassion and understanding and are just really waiting for them to show up and be present. That's all we're asking for. Choosing destiny over fear. Okay, now this wolf spirit all began on the blood moon eclipse in Pisces on September 7th during the middle of eclipse season portal that happened back in August and September. Pisces is the wolf in the Native American zodiac. So this energy first entered there. Then it got activated again and digested into the body through the new moon in Virgo, which was also a solar eclipse, which is the masculine polarity, which was also on the equinoxial halfway point. And then it was picked up by Aries, the emperor, the divine masculine, and the fire energy that's ruled by Mars on October 7th on the full moon there, which initiated the third activation for the divine masculines as they entered a push through the threshold of courage. This was actually really powerful for the divine feminines. And see, actually what was interesting here was that the divine feminines, mostly because the divine feminines at that stage that are in this group that are in the preparation for union, it's really important that the feminines really step into their own power first. Okay, so that really very much happened very powerfully for the divine feminines on that threshold of courage. The divine feminines fiercely stepped into their power, which then because twins are connected, right? That's the whole thing here, is that twin flames are connected. The feminines received, they did step through that threshold of courage right there. And that's what activated the masculines. It was so powerful in my own personal journey. That was incredibly powerful. And it was like almost like a switch had gone off, where within myself, this really just, threshold of courage. It was just like you just embodying this courage and this really powerful energy. And it, like a switch, turned on the masculine, and it started a process very powerfully right there. And then now more recently, this Scorpio new moon, which was another activation. Now remember, Scorpio is also ruled by Mars and also Pluto, which is the higher octave of Mars, which is the destruction for the purpose of clearing the way for new beginnings. That's Scorpio, okay? And we're going to have another one on November 29th. So there's a couple reasons for this. So firstly, on November 27th, Saturn is retrograde in Pisces currently and will begin to move forward on the 27th of November. That's going to be a major shift in the energy right there. And then 2 days later, on November 29th, Mercury retrograde, which is in Scorpio, will start to move direct, okay? And also the moon at that time will be in the sign of Pisces, which, as I just mentioned, has this wolf energy, because in the Native American, the wolf is their animal. Okay, so the moon is going to be activating, and then we have, as we know, we've had a very powerful, very powerful Mercury retrograde, which is not totally finished yet. And also, I'll just mention here the number 29 in itself as well. So the number 29 equals an 11. Okay, another way you could say this is 2 9s, so 9 9. So again, either way, the 11 or the 2 9s is twin flame energy for one thing. And then we have that moon in Pisces, the wolf energy activating it. And then we also have the North Node, which is in Pisces currently, and it's going to be at the 25th degree. So the 25th degree of Pisces, Sabian symbol, is the purging of the priesthood. This is the soul revealing your spiritual path to cleanse your selfish lower nature and the power of the soul to intervene in your personal life. Okay, it's basically the statement would be, what is pure within, which is your soul, can overcome what is defiled without. So this is very powerful. It's a very powerful activation that we have. Really, it's a powerful portal right there that's really going to activate this soul intervening in personal life to reveal your spiritual path and to cleanse out the lower nature, so that the masculines and everyone that is on this journey to step more powerfully into their courage and to step more fully into their spiritual missions here. And then just after the, November 29th, not long after that, we are going to start the Ophiuchus portal and the full moon in Gemini that I spoke about. And on December 4th, the full moon in Gemini, the twins, the lover's card, the magician, the silver gate, okay? The North Node then will be at the 9th degree of Pisces. And this is a jockey that spurs his horse, intent on outdistancing his rivals. And this really means an acceleration and a speedy attainment of a goal. So we can see that right there, there's going to be even more of an acceleration. We know that full moons are, it's a powerful part of the moon cycle. So we have the new moon, the full moon. And so those two are very powerful portals. So that's at the 9th degree of Pisces right there. A jockey spurs his horse on intent of outdistancing his rivals. So that's really, really powerful. Okay, then on the new moon in Sagittarius, which is on December 19th, just on the brink of the Golden Gate solstice on December 21st, and the entry into Capricorn season, the North Node will be at the 12th degree of Pisces. And the Sabian symbol for that is an examination of initiates. Okay, now this is where it can bring a test or a trial as you move from one level to another. And as I've mentioned, this really plays into what I have been discussing, is that when we come to the end of the mutable seasons, okay, the cycle of the 3, 6, 9, and 12, which is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces season, we have a vibe shift. Okay, after these solstices and equinox, when we enter into, what comes after that, this is where we kind of have a massive shift. Okay, it sort of really starts a whole new chapter, basically, is what I've been calling it. It's like, okay, we turn the page, we completed a chapter, now we go into the next chapter. So it makes sense that right there's an examination of the initiates. Okay, it's the Golden Gate, it's the solstice, and it's really powerful. That's a very, very powerful portal right there, just really signaling that we're going from one level to another level. And if you've done the work, we don't have to really fear too much when it comes to these tests or these trials that may come about, okay? But if we haven't done the work, then that's where we may have to repeat a test or repeat something, because we haven't quite completed that. We haven't quite learned our lesson for whatever reasons, okay? And then following that, on January 3rd, we have a wolf moon, which is a full moon in Cancer in Capricorn season. That's on January 3rd, and it's a wolf moon. Okay, so we have this wolf energy coming back in. So I suspect that will also be another pretty good sized activation right there. And, Cancer rules the moon, so it will be in its own palace. It'll be very powerful in the sign of Cancer, and it's a wolf moon, giving us another deeper activation. And the North Node at that time is going to be at the 11th degree of Pisces. And the Sabian symbol for that is men seeking illumination, also men traveling a narrow path. And this is all about dedication of self-improvement and spiritual integration. And you can really see how that would be a powerful time, another very powerful activation of this wolf energy. It's about dedication, loyalty, self-improvement, spiritual integration, okay? Because they are developing. None of this process is a one-time event. We keep maturing, we keep developing, we keep deepening into these energies. This will be another really powerful moment of this activation for sure. So you can see we are moving through a powerful time of deepening our spiritual and mental maturity. This is preparing us for new earth frequencies and physical union for twin flames. But we are still currently purging out the lower frequency timelines. So little by little, and this is allowing us to stay in alignment longer and longer. And eventually, both twins will be able to hold their higher frequencies as the higher self stabilizes within our physical bodies. Currently, it's popping in and out of the body. Divine feminines are holding the higher self frequency longer, little by little. And this is why we are getting bursts of really high levels of energy, followed by extreme exhaustion, as well as other physical symptoms like headaches, nausea, chest pain, throat activations, body aches, and increased sexual desire. So the higher self cannot enter a vessel, which is your body, with a mind full of fear, doubt, shame, or guilt, because those are the lower frequencies. The higher frequencies are confidence, love, faith, trust, okay? So the more that we can really align with those higher frequencies, the more that our higher self will be able to enter into our physical vessel, our body, our avatar, basically heaven and earth merge, okay? So the higher self normally just dwells on the outside of our body and it guides us. It dwells in the sun. But as we are receiving these solar activations through solar flares, if your vessel is purified enough, okay, then the higher self can actually start entering into your physical vessel, your body, and it can start really working through us, and really just we have embodiment at that point. Now, on my own personal journey, it has definitely been unfolding as I expected this year to go so far. Because as I mentioned, we would have this dance between moments of powerful connection and then powerful separations. And this has definitely escalated for me since August. The dance has been definitely been getting quicker, a bit more erratic, with my masculine popping in and out of his shadow self as he's purging and he's integrating and alchemizing. But yeah, my masculine had definitely come in really beautifully and powerfully with that wolf energy on the new moon in Scorpio. So very pleased to see his progress there. It's definitely developing, getting bigger, getting better, but it's still a process. As I've mentioned, we do definitely still have to get to the very end of Pisces season and really, and then into Aries season, starting the whole cycle back over again. There is so much that's going to be happening from now until then. And so I will be definitely talking more about this in the near future as we're getting to the very end of this year and into some really powerful things happening with the year of the horse and the year 10 and just so many things, the planets moving direct, the planets moving back into their next signs, which is, going from Pisces to Aries and whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot more to really discuss on this, and it's definitely affecting the Twin Flame Collective in a really powerful way, as well as us, moving into new Earth energies and frequencies and really collapsing these timelines. So we have a powerful few months ahead of us and then entering another even more powerful cycle, but it's always changing, which is good. It's everything is right as it should be and right where we need to be. But I think I will go ahead and finish off here for today. If you would like to connect with me for a private call, you can do that off my website. Links will be in the description box below. I am sending you so much love. I thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you later. Bye.